you are going, you have 46. Now, assuming you are now going to Ibadan. At Ibadan, you are driving at higher speed. That heat you are generating, every time you press the brake generates heat, and that heat is more or less like a kinetic energy. It's transferred into the tire because all the heat that's generated on the brake disc is transferred to the rim, from the rim into the air in the tire. So when you're now driving and you increase your speed, that tire is actually getting inflated more. If it's a bad tire, or it's a tire that the speed rating is, let's say the speed rating is about 70 miles per hour, which is about 100 kilometers per hour. That speed, the higher that speed, that tire gets hot. The tire expands. That expansion can only get to a level, the tire will explode. Now, you see some people, I like the fact that the road safety sometimes will go into these garages and do some random check. That tire should not be overinflated. And that's why you see a lot of blowout on the highway, most especially free highway, where you see people speeding up and you just see a vehicle tire blowout. It's not like the tire, it's because they have too much air and the tire is already weak. That's one air pressure. We're talking of air pressure alone. That tire, it's very dangerous. You've exceeded the speed limit, you've exceeded the specified pressure. And most manufacturer of tire, if you look on the inscriptions on the tire, most manufacturers should say maximum, I'm not saying minimum, maximum should be 44 psi. Most tire manufacturers, if you look at the inscription, and I'm talking of light vehicles, not heavy duty light vehicles like cars, SUVs, most manufacturers will say 44. Depending on the bigger the tire, the higher the pressure, but they will put it the inscription. The tire should not exceed, the air pressure should not exceed this amount of pressure. That's because they've considered the pressure that tire can withstand, because it's made out of rubber. We all play with balloon when we were young, and we still have kids that play with balloon. You know, when you're inflating balloon, if you inflate it too much, it will blow. Your tire is the same thing. It's just that it's thicker than a balloon. But if the air pressure is too much, and it cannot withstand that pressure, it will give. It's made out of rubber, and that's why you have what we call a ply, PLY. That means the ply is either made of steel or twine.
Steel or twine.
Yeah, that's to reinforce the tire so that the expansion, it will be able to stand the pressure of the expansion before it get to a certain stage. Now, we're talking of air pressure. We have the speed rating. Speed rating, every tire is rated that you do not exceed this speed rating on this tire. When you exceed that speed rating, you can also cause a blowout because the tire will get too hot. And of course, the rubber, it will get to a certain level, start melting or expanding. So these are things we have to be sure of when we're talking. And in this season, a lot of people will be traveling today because of the Salah tomorrow. And people will be rushing back on Monday because Monday is public holiday to come to work on Tuesday. So before you embark on that journey, you want to make sure you have good tires. Your tire is not bald. You know, when we're talking of bald, Tony talked about it. We're talking of the tread of the tire. You know, I remember when we were young, we use, there's a test the VIO would do. They don't do it these days. They'll put, we have this coin, which you guys don't see. You guys don't know about this.
I still saw coin.
But you don't know those coin. Coin, that number and call it rinsing. She was motoro ni. Oh, motoro, the mosisi. So
I know.
You were not even born then. So that first of all, TBA, you know, they will put this coin in the grooves of the tire. If that coin will not stand in the grooves of the tire, you fail that test. That's the coin test back in the days. And this was enforced. You don't see people before they leave their home, they will put that Toro or CC on the tire tread. If it cannot stand, they will go and buy tire quickly. Then tire was cheap. We had tire manufacturer, we had Michelin, we had Dunlop in Ikeja. So now you have that test that you have to do. Make sure your tire is not bald. Your tread is what gives you traction on the road. Tony talked about that.
Yeah.
When you're driving on the road, you see that grooves you see in your tire. It's what that grooves, one, has a lot to do with traction. At the same time, has a lot to do with flood on the road. You know, we're in the rainy season.
Yes.
We drive in the rain. That grooves has its own job to displace water on the road. When your tire is bald, that can also cause your vehicle to hydroplane, to skid off the road. So that has a lot to do. One other thing you have to look at is every vehicle has the particular size of tire you must have. You know, they will tell you 275, 13, 55. The 275, the three numbers, is specifying the width of the car, how wide the tire is. The two, you have two different number with a with the one with the letter R is actually the rim size. The rim size. That would be, it could be start, let's say, from 12, 13, 21 to 25. But anything that starts with from about 50 is the height of the tire. Okay. That's the aspect ratio, the height of the tire. All this you have to consider. You know, so the wider the tire, the more balanced the vehicle is on the road. That's why you see some of these high-end vehicles, you see their tire very wide, BMW, Mercedes. But they are more expensive. But the wider the tire, the balance the vehicle on the road. But not only that, if you change the aspect of your tire, the width of your tire, let's assume your tire is supposed to be 275, and you go and put 300 or 350. You've increased the width of the tire. That means you've increased the drag of the vehicle. You're going to burn more fuel. So a lot has to do with tire maintenance. You as a owner must know what are the needs for my vehicle. What's the manufacturer specification? Yeah, there's some things you can do some tweaking. If you want to enjoy you want to improve your drivability, your ride, yes, there's some, but there's a limit to what you can increase it to. Because when you increase those things or decrease it, it has an effect on the drivability of the car and the stability of the vehicle on the road. And in some cases, when you tamper with this thing, if it's a vehicle that has all these monitoring sensors on it, it's going to trigger it on your cluster that, okay, this thing is, you see your TPMS light coming on, you see your stability VSC light coming on, because you are the one that tampered with those things.
Yeah. All right, Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. You can still send in your questions. We are here to answer them all. Pertaining to the man who asked, that's Muiwa from Ikorodu, who asked, who talked about his engine being blocked. He says, Mr. Shonaike, it was the engine block that was chopped. The cylinder was very fine. Before we open the engine water, do get the one of the plug. Didn't get that part, but he's saying that just before they opened the engine water, actually, it was the cylinder was actually perfect.
Yeah, but when he's saying the cylinder is perfect, he's still missing my point. I hope he's listening. He said the gasket got burnt. When the gasket got burnt, that means water must have entered the cylinder block on top of the piston. If that water sat there for weeks on end without running that water could have turned into rust, and that rust, you will see it on the cylinder wall. That means inside the hole where the piston goes into. That's what I mean by cylinder wall. If that's where it sees that rust that it says is chopped, yes, it could be there, but that doesn't mean the cylinder, that engine block is bad. But if we're on the outside of it, where the water goes into, you're going to see rust. That's normal. As long as it didn't affect it, that the rust penetrates into the engine block, that water is leaking into the engine combustion area, then there's nothing to worry about. Because in this climate, most of us use water. We don't use coolant. And when you use ordinary water, you are going to form rust in your engine block. So when you see that, it's nothing to worry about.
Okay, more questions to answer. We have this one here. I drive a 2003 Nissan Pathfinder Jeep, and I noticed within the last couple of days that when I put it in reverse gear, it does not go back. But after trying 2 to 3 times, it scrambles and starts to go back. I've decided to pack it for now till after a day because I don't want my mechanic to have costs of his RAM for checking my gears. Thank you and good morning. This is from Olumide.
Olumide, you are cheap. Olumide, you are cheap. And if I know your mechanic, I'll tell him to still charge you for that RAM. You know, if the transmission has a delayed going into reverse, that's an indication that there is a problem within the transmission. But the problem could be minor, and it could be major. What I mean by minor is if the fluid is very low, it could have that problem. If it has a lot of dirt in the transmission, which has blocked some of the valves in the valve body, that it takes, when you have dirt, you have these valves that are like plunger that goes back and forth in the valve body. Sometimes some of this dirt will get stuck in the valve body, and it will take so much force to allow the fluid to flow through. That's an indication that there's a mechanical problem, in the sense that some of the clutches are wearing out. And if the reverse clutch is wearing out, it's going to affect the second gear of that transmission. Because most transmission use the same clutch as the second gear, the second forward gear as their gear. They use the same clutch set. So if the reverse gear is having a problem, it will notice a problem on the transmission when the second gear, the vehicle wants to go into second gear also. There will be a kind of stalling or surges. So these are things it needs to notice. But that doesn't mean it can service the transmission first to see. Then also run a scan on it. The scan result will tell us, because you will see some solenoid code. And those solenoid will actually tell us if it's something mechanical or not.
All right, we have a call on the line. Hello. Good morning. I'm with you. Good morning. Good morning, please.
Hello.
Okay. 0809.
That person called the wrong number.
Yes, certainly. 0809-912-0777, 0809-912-0777. Another caller. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Oh, sorry, I've been on the line. I've been calling. Good morning, everyone in the studio. Can you hear me clearly, please?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Okay. I want to thank you for So I'm a first-time caller. So my name is Aderonke. I'm calling from Lagos. Okay, so I want to say quickly, I have I'm a sad person now because my vehicle, I'm going through a lot of problems with the vehicle, and then about 5 different it's still yet to be resolved completely.
Okay.
So let me just quickly state the problem.
Okay.
So the vehicle jerks now. It jerks. If I drive it in the morning, in the next 30 minutes after I started driving, it will start that jerking, serious jerking. Then it will go off. I have to wait a bit, start it again before it comes on. Then it continues like that. So it's 2006 Toyota Corolla. So before this serious jerking started, I took it to an engineer. Then it was the mirror that used to shake when you're in traffic. You know, you place your leg on the brake when you're in traffic. You see that the driver's side mirror will be shaking. So that was actually what I went to complain about. So they cleaned the injector mouth, and I think that's where the whole problem of serious jetting started. So the engineer tried, the vehicle stayed there for about 6 days. So they said they wanted to change the engine seat, they bought the engine seat, they bought everything they needed to buy, yet the problem was not resolved. I had to go and take that vehicle after the 6th day. Then I took it to another engineer. So that one worked on it, and it worked for some days. It started again now. I've taken this car to about 5 different engineers.
You said it's a Toyota Corolla.
Yeah, Toyota Corolla 2006.
Have you run a scan on it at all?
They have run, in fact, several scans.
Do you have any of the results?
I have one with me, which I'll share.
Yeah, share with us.
Read it out.
No, read it out. If it's something you can read out, tell us the code. All we need is the code.
Okay.
It will start with a P.
Just a minute, please.
Okay.
You know, the reason why I asked for the code is this. While he's getting the code,
Yes.
you know, he said something. The vehicle started shaking, and you noticed it on the mirror.
I'm with you.
Yeah. Now.
Okay. So we have P0012. Can you hear me?
Yes, please go on.
Yeah.
P0012. That is a camshaft position. P0420. Catalyst system.
Deficiency.
P0441. Then P0420. Then P0441 is repeated twice. Likewise, P0012 is repeated twice. Then there is P0455. Evap something different. Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay. So this was the scan.
The result.
This is the result of the scan that was done by the 3rd engineer, the 3rd mechanic. Okay. Now, another mechanic worked on it last week. That mechanic that worked on it was the 5th mechanic, and he also scanned it. And he said that there are, out of those codes, there is only 2 that are showing now. That about 4 had disappeared. They had worked on 4. 4 had disappeared. Only 2, which are the catalyst and the check. One other one, catalyst, and one other code that are still left on it. So, but the car is in bad state. In fact, we are having a layer tomorrow now. I'm just very sad because I can't use my car. If you take it anywhere further than 10 kilometers, you have to push it back because it will just be going up. So I don't know if I can get help.
Certainly, you will. You certainly will get help. But just keep listening through your radio set.
Listen through your radio.
Okay. Sorry, sir. Then let me also mention that you know this honesty that we have had with mechanics. So I've spent almost 500,000 naira as I'm talking to you. within the last 1 month, I
Okay.
spent
Listen
500,000.
listen through the radio.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you too.
I know that man is hungry.
Considering the amount of spent,
Yeah, what year was that cap? 2000 and I think it's 2006. Corolla. Now, the car is jacking, and all the quotes they're getting. Yes, we'll have a drivability error with the code. The first one was P01112, which has to do with the incorrect camshaft position over retarded. If it's over retarded, that means the timing, of course, is going to affect the way the engine runs. Badly, it's going to affect the way the engine runs. But there's a particular code I'm looking for which I didn't see.
Okay.
And it could be as a result of the scanner, and they've cleared the code so many times. It said when they clean the throttle body, which is what they call the injector mount, there was an improvement. That's where I wanted to go. Before he takes it to any other mechanic, or if he takes it to any other mechanic, I want them to take the mass airflow sensor, remove it from the mass airflow sensor. It's screwed or bolted to the air cleaner housing where you have the air filter. It's bolted to it. Take it out, get a carburetor cleaner. This is something he can do himself. Get a carburetor cleaner. Don't use brush or anything. Just spray that thing. When you take it out, spray it on you will see something like a diode or electrical diode. Spray it on it. Just spray the carburetor cleaner on it and let it dry. Once it dry, put it back and try it. You know, that thing sometimes will not flag a code. And when it's bad or dirty, most of the challenge you have is the engine will be stalling. You slow down in traffic, the engine will die. When you want to start it, you have that starting. When it starts, it runs rough. And this thing will not flag a code. And it's very common with most vehicles. And there's no vehicle that does not have this particular part. It's actually two sensors in one unit. Mass airflow and intake air temperature sensor. And these are things that the engine needs. This particular sensor is very vital to the engine to run smooth, to run perfect. And all it does is monitors the amount of air going into the engine and the temperature of the air going into the engine. If these two are off, the computer is going to be confused. So the computer will probably be dumping too much fuel into the engine. And this is going to affect your drivability, the way the engine. So if it's something he can do himself, he can try it, or take it to his mechanic, tell him to just clean the mass airflow and see if there's an improvement, which I know there will be. Now, all this code he gave us will affect the drivability. The first one, which is more of a concern, is the P012, which has to do with the what's it called? The camshaft position timing retarded. I mean, over retarded. It controls the way the engine idle, which will affect the way the engine idles. Now, if this thing is dirty, it's going to have, it's bolted to the camshaft. It's a sensor, but if it's dirty, it's going, then if it's variable valve timing solenoid, it's also dirty because this thing is controlled by oil pressure. If the oil is low or it has too much sludge in the engine, it's going to have this. And this will give him poor efficiency. The engine will misfire. Those are the only two things I want him to address on the vehicle. And if he's a DIY person, these are things he can actually carry out on his own. If he doesn't know how to, he can Google it. Google this code, P0012. You will see some video will come or what will tell you the camshaft position sensor. But if you cannot do it, take it to your mechanic. Tell him to remove it, clean it. See, while he's removing it, you will know if you have sludge, because you will see a lot of sludge coming out with this thing. And if the oil pressure is low, it's going to have this problem also. If he cleans this and the mass airflow, I believe his problem will be solved.
All right, we have like 4 questions, Mr. Kunle.
Let's see if we can rush through them.
Because we have like less than 9 minutes to go. Okay, so this one says, good morning, AUTOMEDICS. What does it mean? Okay, a minute. Okay. What does it mean to say an engine is 2.5 L or 4.5 L?
This person asked us this question yesterday. That means he was not listening. 2.5 is 2.5 liter, while the 4.5 is 4.5 liter engine. The engine size are bigger. One has more horsepower than the other. The 2.5, they both run the same speed. If you're driving at the same speed on the road, you're coasting. They will, as a matter of fact, the 2.5 will probably have better takeoff than the 4.5. But in terms of torque, the kind of load they will haul, things they will power, the 4.5 will carry more weight, will carry more load, pull more weight than the 2.5. But the 2.5 will burn lesser fuel than the 4.5, because for the 4.5 will be a V8 engine, while the 2.5 will be a 4-cylinder engine. So the weight, the amount of weight they will carry is different.
Okay, this one also says, I'm using Corolla 04 model. If I service my car in 1 month, before the end of the month, my engine oil will be short till last dot from the gauge.
That means the engine is smoking. The engine is burning oil.
Okay. The engine I've changed the needful. Nothing linking again.
It doesn't have to leak. The oil is burning. It's smoking, but you cannot see the smoke. Yes.
Wow. Okay. This one says, I drive a Toyota Corolla 2009. My car AC automatic compressor got bad. My technician is advising me to go for a manual compressor.
No.
What are the implications?
No.
Secondly, how often can a car go for alignment wheel balancing?
It depends on where you live. If you live in a place where the road is uneven, you'll probably be going for alignment and wheel balancing every 3 months or every 2 months. Yes. The amount of bumps, potholes you run into, it's what determines how those parts wears out and how your rim gets knocked out of balance, your tire weight is pulled off. So it depends on where you live.
And then pertaining to his AC automatic compressor getting bad?
He has to replace it, go with the original. When you start bypassing electronics, it's going to affect the way your engine runs, and that will be the beginning of your problem.
All right. And pertaining to the man who said he packed his 2003 Nissan Pathfinder Jeep, he mentioned that, he packed it there till now, and he's planning to get it after Ilya. He says, thanks a million, sir. By the way, I'm a IB pensioner.
Me too. I'm not retired now. These are my boss. I want on some salary. They did for me salary for some time.
Oh my God! All right, then Lagos Traffic Radio at 6.1 FM is the station, and quickly we just want to let you know that there is okay, we have an SUV having a red tire problem. It's occupying a lane at Mile 12 inwards journey Koshofe. The driver is very much on the ground trying to change the tire, but then we are still experiencing a very good movement at this time, so please be careful, be patient as you connect that area. Again, there is an SUV having a tire problem occupying a lane at Mile 12 inwards Koshofe. The owner is working on it frantically to get it fixed as soon as possible. And the good news is it has no effect on traffic. So please take it easy and drive carefully. All right, so your last words, Mr. Kunle and Tony Loba, pertaining to car maintenance, tire maintenance now. what would be your advice to those who do not do regular maintenance?
Well, to those who don't do regular maintenance, the only advice I will give them is do more of regular maintenance.
But you don't have the time, like one busy.
One busy. That's just it.
Yeah.
I mean, even you as a human being, if you don't take care of yourself, your body will pack you one day. Say you are not going anywhere. Same thing applies to your vehicle.
Yeah.
Your tire. You have to take care of whatever you use, and you take care of it. It will take care of you.
And Tony Loba, what are the misconceptions about tire maintenance?
Yes, I would just want to say, for those people that always think the TPMS sensor light that comes on in the instrument cluster is a normal thing for Nigerian car users, I'm trying to tell the person that is a lie. Go and check why that code is out. Go and check why that light is on, and get to the root of the problem. It is fixable.
It's fixable.
One story that will touch the heart. I will say it again. Olani Salah, ti pẹ̀rùn ẹran tí àwa náà ẹjọ́ ẹ̀fẹ̀ràn ránṣẹ́ sáwa náà. If you don't do that, Monday we too will strike on Tuesday. We will not come. Well, if we come, we will talk, but we will not take your call or answer your messages. Ẹjọ́.
You want this enough for the
wise. Everyone should be to.
Very important. All right, then finally, let's have your address and then we call it a day.
Yes, you can find AUTOMEDICS at plot 192 Agege Motor Road off Lupoju Bypass beside Crystal Estate, Lupoju, Lagos. We're also at number 1 Ambule Bus Stop opposite Petrocam Gas, Ayobo. We are inside Corner Filling Station opposite Correctional Center, Kudirat Abiola Way. And you can contact us on 080-80-80-6686. I'll take it again. 080-80-80-6686. You can also contact us on 080-3829-2296. 080-3829-2296. And you can visit our website www.automedicsafrica.com.
And this is where we call it a day. Thank you so much, Mr. Kunle Shonaike and Tony Loba. We would love to have you again next time. All right, my name is Rere Lolua Shinwabiyodo RSA. See you next time, and please stay safe.